Hello there, it is your final project for math modeling. Woo! And that means I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to do the Pythagorean spiral project. First things first, let's take a look at the worksheet. Now, the worksheet says how to do it, right? It goes through, it says you're going to create 17 triangles, and then it goes through the steps. Now, what if I don't have a ruler? If you don't have a ruler, which some of you have already voiced concern about, you're going to go on the page, okay, and find a spot kind of around like here, right? I would say it's, to the right of center and then down a little bit, right? Just about there. And put your point there. That point is going to be your vertex for all of your triangles. Basically, that is what's going to cause the spiral, right? So each triangle is going to go around it, okay? So if you have the ruler, definitely measure out from left to right 7 inches and then down 3.5 inches, just so you have an exact point. But if you don't have a ruler, that's okay. Find a point that you have enough space to draw all the way around. Now, the next part says measure up 0.5 inches and left 0.5 inches. Now, it's really important that those are the same length. So what if I don't have a ruler? One option is I found a Post-it note. You can find any piece of paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that it is just small enough and straight enough. That's the key, right? That we can still do this. So this is about 1/2 inch. But the point is, this length is going to be the short leg for all 17 triangles, okay? And that's what's really important. So using something like this, even though you don't have a ruler, is going to help you significantly. And this can be any piece of paper. Now, sorry, there we go. All right. So if I look on the down right, there we are. All right, over here, that's my first point. So it says go up and to the left. So I'm going to draw a line up from that point and to the left. And once you use this as a measuring tool, you can always find a straight edge of some sort, whether it is the side of a notebook, perhaps, right? If you have the side of a notebook, you could line it up and make sure that the line is straight, right? That doesn't look fully straight. So there we go, straight line, right? And the point is, though, that it is keeping that distance here. So once I do that, then I'm going to attach them. And again, if I don't have a ruler, I can use any straight edge. I'm going to attach the two corners to make that triangle. All right. So I now have the first triangle. What it now says is calculate the length of the hypotenuse. So we're going to look at the table. And if we look at the table says, first of all, I wrote the Pythagorean theorem on top, but the table says triangle 1, short leg 0.5, long leg 0.5. All right. By putting 0.5 into A and B, you get 0.5 squared plus 0.5 squared equals 0.5. So 0.5 is the same as C squared. Now, we need the C. And if you remember, the way that we get that is we're going to take the square root of C squared. That's going to get rid of our squared. But if we take the square root of that, we also have to do the other side. So we take the square root of 0.5, and that is what C is. So if you look, you have square root of 0.5 is the hypotenuse, right? So that, if we look at my little triangle here, searching for it, there it is. That is this line right here, okay? That is our hypotenuse. Now, your next step, very important next step, you are going to draw the same length that we used before at a 90-degree angle, right? So we have a 90-degree angle here. We're going to draw another 90-degree angle. So I can line this up, line my little measuring tool here, line it up against it so that I absolutely get a 90-degree angle. Now again, it's not the straightest thing, so I'm going to go ahead and use a straight edge. And I'm just going to make sure that it goes to the same point that I just had, right? So now we have a straight line. So that's a 90-degree angle. And then again, I'm going to just connect the 2 points, okay? So that is my second triangle. And now, what's important is we have 0.5, the square root of 0.5 for our long leg. Now you're going to have to go and calculate again, right? You're going to calculate what the hypotenuse is. So the calculation sheet, you can do all of that separately from your actual spiral. Okay, you can do all your calculations up there, write it on the sheet, show that I personally would go ahead and write 0.5 squared plus the square root of 0.5 squared equals c squared. I would show that you know the work for at least a few of them. But maybe at the bottom of the page, there's some blank space, and you could say like for triangle 3, right? Just show that you understand what you're doing. And then you complete the chart. And then when you're drawing, again, you're paying attention to this triangle. And what's really important, trying to get closer right there we go. All right. I'm going to do one more so that you guys can see. Sorry, there we go. Ooh, other way. All right. So I'm going to do one more. Again, I'm going to line up flat to flat, right? And I'm going to get another 90-degree angle at the same distance, right? So this length is the same as this length is the same as this length. Now, ideally, it would be 0.5, but again, if you don't have a ruler, that's okay. So this is a 90-degree angle, and then we're going to connect them. And for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just connect it with this. And again, I am going to go back and make sure all the lines are straight, because that is not the straightest line. And you're going to do this. That's 3. You have 14 more to go. So in just a second, you're going to see what the completed product would look like. Hold tight. I'm finished, and this is what it looks like. If I can get it in the frame. There we go. All right, so that is the project right there. And it's that piece, and then you also have to make sure that you do the calculations, which is the table on the screen. And if you guys do that, that's the most simplistic way. Now, it is important that you remember to be creative. So your next step from here is going to be coloring them in. Now, oh, Mr. Gold, Miss Goals, I don't have markers. You can do things, either use a pen, right, and outline it, and then what you could always do is pick different patterns. Like if I do a stripe here, right, and I could do some sort of like polka dot, circle, pebble, like, here, and I could do little triangles here, right? So there are different ways to be creative with this that don't involve needing markers. So if you have any questions, please reach out to myself or Miss Coles or my dog. Just kidding. He was just saying hi. But please reach out with any questions and make sure you attach both parts of the project. So for now, Gold